Disclaimer. The purpose of this video is for entertainment and informational purposes only. Any attempt to recreate anything in this video would place you in the top 1% of Save the World players. Without further ado, let's begin. Okay, yeah, I know I was supposed to upload a Pokemon video this week, but I kinda got the idea for this one, and I kinda decided to do this one before the Pokemon one. The Pokemon one will be up next week, I promise, but I kinda wanted to do this one first. Anyways, on to the video. Hi, if you don't know me, my name is Glacia, your Starbound creator. I make a lot of variety content, but today specifically, I decided to be a little more helpful, and I'm making a video, as you saw in the title, how I personally solo won 40 missions. Today I'll share two different builds with you for two different mission types. The first mission we have is gonna be a combat related one, and the second mission we have is gonna be a defense one. Anyways, let's get into the first mission. Yes, this is mission 1, and you did see that right. It is going to be a destroy the encampments mission, the combat mission. Anyways, the first thing we're going to talk about in this particular build that you just saw me go through is Blast from the Past. It basically removes all your shield and increases your max health by 200%, or technically, I guess, doubling it essentially. But it is probably one of the better combat builds to have in terms of just everything. And we're going to talk about these other two. Sagittarian Vigor, which just basically is a healing thing. It's not all that important, especially since it's like 2% of your health every like 10 seconds. Which in the heat of actual combat is kind of useless, but once you're out of combat, it shows its usefulness, and I kind of didn't have another Blast from the Past hero to put on the build, so she's just kind of there. It's kind of a dead slot, but it is what it is. And one of the more important heroes is, while shield is Sagittarian Hide, which is, while shield is depleted, increases armor by 33%. I believe this is confirmed to work with Blast from the Past. I'm not entirely sure, but when I see the word depleted and armor increased by 33%, I believe it works. This is the part that makes the build like extremely tanky, to say the least. There are obviously other heroes that you saw in the build, but they have more focused footage, which we will be explaining in a second. Alright, the first part of this build we're talking about is Coconuts, or Crossbones Barrett, the hero that is represented by Coconuts. As you can see on screen right now, Going Coconuts is the perk that Crossbones Barrett has, and it is a 20% chance to find coconuts in any type of containers, which is why you see me searching through whatever I can find, and increases damage by 16% while affected with the coconut effect. Not sure how long it lasts. You might see it, you'll probably see it on screen because I'll probably do some research about it. I'm not sure how much it totally heals, but it does give you, I believe, roughly 15 to 30 seconds of regeneration, and it gives you a decent bump of health. I'd say it's probably roughly around 30% of your health, give or take. Don't really fully know, but you can only stack to a max of 8 coconuts. This is a change that Epic made one of these years. It wasn't too long ago. It was like maybe 2 years ago at this point. You'll see it on screen. But you used to be able to hold 999 coconuts. And unlike wafers, they didn't have a limit. But now they have a limit since this update. But yeah, coconuts are a pretty essential part of this build. Even if you can only carry 8, there's still that's still plenty, to be honest. Okay, for this part, we're gonna be talking about two heroes because One of them is more useful than the other. We're going to be talking about Stoneheart Farah and Rabbit Raider Jonesy. Both of them are part of this build and are pretty essential. Zenith is the main portion of the build, but we'll be talking about him later. Right now, as you probably will see on screen, you can see Stoneheart Farah's effect, which is on bow hits, or I think it's sniper? No, it's bow hits. On bow hits, it'll the initial bow hit will splinter to 3 other target. I think it's 3. It's either 3 or 2. It splinters to 3, I believe. And it does 5 if she's commander. But it basically just does 3. And yeah, that's basically about it. She's pretty good in this build. Unfortunately, one, she's not the main appeal of the build. And 2, this mission has not only exploding death bomb, uncharted enemies, it also has healing death bursts. So healing death burst kind of hard counters the splintering effect and even affliction damage from my Xenon. But regardless, it is still good, even if the effects are countered a bit in this mission, which is kind of why I picked this mission, but to show this build off. But yeah, and then we're going to Rabbit Raider Jonesy. He's extremely simple. Sniper critical damage increased by 75%. Basically, whenever the bow you're using or a sniper crits, it does 75% more damage. Not too hard to follow. If you're having trouble following that, you got more problems than I can help you with. But yeah, we're gonna move on to the main part of this build, which is my boy Zenith. Alrighty, and now, like I just mentioned, it is time for the most important part, the commander slot, Zenith. He is the icy hero that freezes, that occasionally does freeze, as you'll probably see it happen to this blaster right here, frozen. Yep, that is the main appeal of Zenith being in commander slot. If he's in commander slot, he can freeze. If he's in a sub commander slot, it does water affliction, I believe, which it's alright, but he is one of my favorite heroes for like mostly doing solo content, because obviously mist monsters like that taker that you just saw are pretty strong, especially smashers. Blasters in large groups can be super annoying. Husky Husk can be also pretty annoying. This Healer Husk can be particularly annoying with a lot of Husky Husks, or Riot Shield Huskies, or Propane Huskies. The most important part of this build is mostly stalling. I made this build sort of around Frost Knight last year. If you don't know what Frost Knight is, it's basically a survival mode where you survive for an hour and 30 minutes against increasingly powerful husks, but it only comes in November, which is basically Frosty Forge or Adventure Zone, by the way, but I digress. He is a very powerful stalling hero. He might not do the most damage, he might not be the best hero for taking down hordes of husks, but with the build that surrounds him, I think that makes him pretty good. He's able to freeze, he's able to basically just hold off enemies that you need held off. If you need further proof of this, stick around, because I'll let you watch a full unedited clip of the entirety of an entire encampment, max encampment by the way, for at least the bare minimum to complete the mission, and then a storm chest that I end up doing later in the mission. There's live commentary, so don't worry, there will be funny. But yeah, here you go. that taker, that would be bad. Oh, still got hit. Oh my god, I got stuck. Something froze. Damn. Immediately jumped on site. Holy. That defender got jumped immediately for just existing. Ah, I was about to say, is one of them gonna freeze? Oh. Is that... No, I think that was just the beehive us. There's a tape here? Oh, yeah, there is. Oh, well, that's unfortunate for you, bud. Alright, time to take on a storm chest. 50 enemies. Well, technically 52 enemies because it also includes mist monsters, but they don't count as normal husks. So, I guess it doesn't count husk outside of the encampment or storm chest. Whatever. Alright. Alright, where are these guys? I'm gonna be taken. Oh, never mind. He's just gonna die. Are you gonna freeze? Are you gonna freeze? Are you gonna freeze? Ha 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 ha. Oh, never mind. He's gonna be taken out by affliction. Alright, well, that's free. That's per usual. Oh. Ooh. Hey, that would have been my... No. That would have been my 9,550th survivor save. Ow. Damn it. Whatever. Alright, and now it's time for maybe the reason that most of you are here. For the constructor part of the build. This is the defense mission. Most missions in Save the World are defense oriented, so this build is more universal instead of the combat build from earlier. But regardless, these constructors specialize in various different things, but not a lot of those things are probably going to get shown. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk over building and add these guys as I talk about them. Regardless, the first one up is the commander slot. We have Power Base Nox, which he's a super good hero, by the way. If you have the chance, pick him up immediately. Like, zero hesitation, zero, oh, but what if... No. You need to absolutely pick up this guy immediately. It needs to be a frame 1.
Insert cash or select payment type.
Or credit card swipe. But yeah, he is one of the best heroes. and well, one of the best constructors, and it is because of his base healing, power modulation. Structures affected by the base are healed for 11% of their max health every 10 seconds. Now, 10 seconds might sound like a long time, but it's really not. There are times where things will get destroyed, but that's just the nature of the world. Things will get destroyed. Propanes will spam, smashers will smash through walls. But yeah, a lot of stuff can happen in these defense missions, really, where it is, especially in 140s, and in any real 4+ player mission, things can get really difficult and spicy, and that's why it's good to at least have one constructor like Power Base Nox on your team, at least one. Obviously, you can clear missions without him. It's not impossible, but it just makes your life easier. And if you're given the option to make your life easier, wouldn't you take it? I mean, realistically, wouldn't you take it? But regardless, I still say he's one of the best heroes, and I was put on him by another friend. Obviously, you probably have seen him in videos before. Snow, I believe, put me on it. I don't fully remember, but I believe it was him. Regardless, we're moving on. I use recycling on this build, meaning meaning the base. Every attached building piece you'll see a bit later when I do put the base down, or I'll show you a clip now. You're probably watching a clip now, actually, but yeah, everything that like glowing blue stuff is touching is part of the base, which grants materials, and it has the power modulation effect and every other effect that I'm about to go over right now. Anyways, we're moving on to Frozen Castle by the Ice King. I believe it just snares enemies by like 15% if he's in sub commander. If he's in primary commander, any melee hits or melee, however you want to say it, does the melee hits freeze enemies on contact with the base, with any base affected structure, and I think it snares them as well. He is better in the commander slot. So if you're running a full team of constructors, if you happen to be, he would be extremely ideal for a build like that. Pair him with Power Base Nox, and you got a pretty unbreakable base there. No pun intended, but we have the next build, which is Lofty Architecture from, I believe, Megabase Kyle. I believe so, yeah. Regardless, he increases building health by 28%, I believe. You'll probably see if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 28%. And he does it by 64 or 84% in the lead, which is why you also kind of want to have him in Commander. There's just a lot of good quality constructors that can be Commander. But if you're doing solo mostly, you're probably going to want your builds healed more than you want them to have health. Granted, they're probably interchangeable. You can have either or. But I prefer to have my builds healed, which is why I do have some traps with the heals attached building structure for like 4.8 or 4% whenever, for every I think it's 10 seconds or 6 seconds. I don't remember. But yeah, we're moving on to the next hero, which is Fully Contained. And actually no, this is Tank Penny, I believe. It's one of the pennies. It doesn't matter. Her image is on screen anyways. You'll be able to find her. But it basically makes anything take damage if they hit the structures, which, granted, in a mission like last mission that you saw with Healing Death Burst, it'd be completely meaningless. That would be an entirely dead slot. Which, for those missions specifically, you'd probably want to trade her out with someone else. Because, I'm going to be honest, the base damage, it does scale with your power level, so don't worry. But, the base damage for that kinda just sucks. It's just absolute trash. Like, it's base damage. It's no, like, energy, no fire, no water, no nature damage. It's just purely base physical damage. Which is good against basic husks. And good for maybe some lower level missions. In a 140, that extra damage might save you, but it's more than likely better invested in a different hero slot. But that's just me. I just have her on the build. I have not updated this build. But I don't think there really is anyone else that I would go with at the moment. Anyways, moving on to Mega Base from the actual real Mega Base Kyle. I don't know what. I think the other one was Base Kyle. That's probably my bad. I'm kind of dumb, but anyways, Mega Base just basically increases the base connectivity range by 1. I mean, in lead he does it by 3, which I'm going to be honest, like, it's good, but probably not commander slot worthy if you're doing a solo mission, because you would more than likely want your builds healed, especially your core builds, like the walls that you just saw me walk past. The core builds, yeah, you see them, the ones with the broadsides. Those are your basically core builds that you want to protect, so you would want them to be pretty healthy all through the mission, right? Especially if a smasher gets through, or the mini boss comes, or whatever you happen to be fighting and worried about in the mission. But yeah, he's useful in earlier game. If you already have a power-based Nox and a Ice King, I guess it wouldn't hurt to bring him along as another commander, but meh. Anyways, on to the last hero, which actually is a support hero. It is Base MD from, I believe, a winter version of Kyle. I think it's Warden Kyle. Not fully sure on the name, but whatever. Base MD. It basically heals allies by, I think, a base 23.3% health, or you'll see it on screen. It doesn't matter. But I believe it's by that, and restores like 1 energy every 3 seconds, I believe, which is actually extremely useful. It's a lot more useful than you actually think, surprisingly. Because if you're running a total constructor team with really no coconuts or no healing, there's kind of no way to get your health back unless you have a campfire, a healing pad, coconuts like I mentioned, consumables, which consumables from animals like the mushrooms or meat, they don't really restore that much. They're kind of just entirely useless. But yeah, he is the better one when it comes to healing. He's a more useful slot than the previous two, and that's why he's on the team on this build. But I don't think I'm gonna show you the entire mission, because obviously boredom, and TikTok has probably done irreparable damage to your frontal cortex as a young child, so you probably don't have the attention span to watch it. But if you do, maybe you could tune into a stream and you'll see it better. This kind of doesn't, and for me, this would be boring to just sit through. I literally even go AFK in this mission because it's just like, well, you want me to go out and fight? I'm a constructor. I will die in 2.5 seconds if I even look at a smasher the wrong way. He will slap me across the map faster than a black mother with a belt. Anyways, I think that's about all I need to explain. If you seriously do want to see the full version of this mission, I guess leave a comment down below and I'll just, upload it, I guess, as part, or, I don't know, I'll do something. Maybe I'll make a mission with this exact, maybe I'll have a video with this exact build and just run the mission, but yeah, regardless. That's actually about it. That's about all, I believe. Again, like I mentioned earlier, there isn't really specific things that you can see with constructors. Oh, actually, there is something. You see, this footage right now? You see how the base isn't covering everything up here? After I get rid of this flinger, I will be happy to show you why. Because apparently, you need to connect something from around the base up. Which, I don't know when Epic did change that or whatever, but yeah. Also, you'll be able to see the healing in effect right here. Look at it, watch it. I'm gonna shut. See? It does heal. And and like I said, it's pretty good healing. And these are metal structures with 11,000 health. This is pretty much the maximum amount of health you can have on metal structures. Maybe a little more, give or take, but yeah, that's basically it. Flingers are still annoying as per usual. Annoying bastards. But my opinions aside, I have been Glacia, your Starbound creator. I will see you guys next week for the next video, which will be the Pokemon one this time, I promise. But if you're still interested in seeing me more, I have a stream coming up tomorrow. I'm not fully sure what I will be doing in the stream, but I know I'll be at least going for an hour or two. And I obviously have more shorts coming out for the Save the World series. But now, you know how I solo all those 140s. Well, at least the defense one. Actually, no. You know how I solo every single one of them. You're welcome for the help. If you do bad with these builds, that ain't my problem. That's just a skill issue. Anyways, seriously, I'm gonna go. I got other stuff to do. I've been your Starbound creator, Glacia, and I'll see you guys Starside. Oh, sorry. That's copyright from... Bye. I'll see you guys later. Bye.